When stocking a dungeon in old school D&D using the suggested methods, about 50% of the rooms will probably be empty. Why would half of the rooms in a dungeon be empty? What is the purpose of such rooms? An empty room is just a room that does not have a monster, trap, or significant treasure in it, but there is little indication of what the room should contain instead. The empty room should almost never be completely void of contents. If it is just a blank space, that should be an anomaly, and a point of interest in itself. You could stock such rooms realistically, making them relevant to the space they are found in: bedrooms, kitchens, armories, privies. These all make sense in a dungeon or a stronghold of some form, but such rooms will still only be descriptively significant, and can be put to better use. It is always worth considering the gameplay significance of such rooms, rather than their descriptive nature. Therefore, I've come up with a list of uses for the empty rooms. If any room does not fulfill one of these purposes, it should probably be bypassed in-game. You find an empty room and move on to explore the next. One of the most obvious uses for the empty room is to provide a place that is safe to rest in. I would advise that safe rooms are signalled to the party somehow, by having ways to lock or block the entrance, having no indications of danger or secret ways in, or otherwise putting the players on edge. I would even suggest that you explicitly state to the players that the room is safe. Safe rooms are a good way to relieve tension as well. Constantly building tension and adding danger to an adventure can become fatiguing for the players, so the occasional safe place can offer a temporary release, and is always a good place to pause the session if required. Being able to heal and memorize spells allows the characters to continue exploring the dungeon, rather than retreating back to town regularly. You can always present a room as safe and then surprise the characters with an encounter, but this trick should be only used very occasionally, otherwise the players will become too paranoid. An empty room can be used to foreshadow an upcoming enemy or hazard. This is a very useful technique, as it not only prepares the players for dangers ahead, it can create suspense and dread. Placing blood splatters, gnawed bones, and incinerated corpses can hint at the dangers ahead. Clever or experienced players may be able to work out what sort of enemies lie ahead and plan accordingly, which will be very rewarding for such players. This kind of technique should always be used to foreshadow traps as well, especially the kind of traps with save or die effects. Whatever the purpose of the dungeon, it should have a theme and atmosphere that is reinforced not only through the encounters, but also through the description and dressing of the rooms. The evil temple will have a different atmosphere to the crypt, and different still from the alien mythic underworld. Empty rooms are great for expressing the tone and theme of the dungeon to the players. However, almost all of the rooms in the dungeon should probably reinforce the theme and atmosphere in some way. You just have the chance to really express these things in the empty room. The empty room can be used to deliver lore, whether this is the history of the place or its inhabitants, or perhaps details about the campaign world. You can place pictures and murals, old books and journals, letters, diagrams, maps, and all sorts of interesting items, which can let the players discover information about the place. A much better option than subjecting players to read aloud expositions or having an NPC explain things. This is great for those who enjoy discovering things. If you're using a skill-based system, you can reward those who have taken certain knowledge, skills, or careers with this useful information. If there is some kind of mystery in the dungeon, you can offer clues. This can be combined in some manner with the foreshadowing or warning category if the clues are about the dangerous inhabitants of the dungeon. Sometimes you will want to include things in a room that your characters can experiment or play with. A great example of this is the Room of Pools in B1 In Search of the Unknown. Having things in a room that the PCs can interact with can be great fun for players. Such things can be combined with some of the other categories such as lore, clues, warnings, etc., or could even lead to a trick or trap situation. Whatever you choose to do here, you should probably not make such things deadly, and perhaps even reward the characters who tinker within such rooms. Spending time playing around in interesting rooms will also drain the players of some resources, namely torchlight, and will increase the chance of wandering monster encounters. Safe rooms are a way for PCs to replenish character resources such as hit point and spells, but you can also place rooms which have physical resources in them. Oil, torches, ammunition, ropes and all sorts could be found most often in storerooms. Other items which PCs may not even know they want can be found in such rooms. Building materials such as lumber, nails and cement can be used to barricade a room to make it safe. Mining equipment can be used to dig for precious stones or clear blocked tunnels. Many dungeon denizens will have a use for such tools and equipment, and these are often overlooked. Characters may even wish to destroy such storerooms to cause trouble to the dungeon denizens. On the other side of the coin, you can use empty rooms to waste PC resources, including one of the most important resources, time. Rooms that appear to have something useful in them, but after extensive searching contain nothing, or rooms that lead somewhere futile, will waste a lot of PC time. Be careful with the use of such rooms, as repeated use will begin to infuriate the players. It's important to remember that you want to waste the character's time, not the player's time. If a room is truly empty, then describe to the players as quickly as possible that there is nothing to find, but your characters spend a turn looking, and then move on. Some rooms are not permanently empty. Side rooms and adjacent rooms to monster lairs, or rooms which become hazardous or trapped at a later point. I hope this list presents some ideas to keep your dungeons interesting from beginning to end. Do you have any ideas to fill up empty rooms in the dungeon? Leave a comment with your ideas below. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribe and like the video, and if you want, you can pick up one of my books at DriveThruRPG. And as always, thanks for watching.